I spent most of my childhood in North Transylvania. Granny was self-sufficient and she lived in a really good communion with the environment in a small community, and she had a house right next to a forest. I moved to England 20 years ago and I learned to DJ, and I started mixing in music from my homeland, and that was one way I managed to keep the connection with Romania through playing some of the Balkan music. And before I knew it, people loved it, and I started getting residencies and traveled the world with playing music, particularly Balkan music. And my project is called Muzică de Frontiers, and it's really about connecting everybody. It doesn't matter which background they come from, what culture they come from, which is why my album is called B1. Early on in this year, I was in Transylvania visiting some of the virgin forests in Grădiștea de Munte area. And because of that, I met Babu Ion, who's this wonderful old man that plays the flute, and he played the flute for me, and I felt really inspired after speaking to him.
Cuvintele mele sunt mult prea sărace să vă pot mulțumi că ați venit și m-ați căutat.
These musicians, they're the authentic musicians. Their inspirations come from nature a lot of the time, and it's a technique and a style of playing that they've inherited from generation to generation.
Eu sfătui tineretul din ziua de astăzi să nu uite muzica. Muzica îi ține pe picioare. Așa.
Sunt de acord cu dumneavoastră. And then I realized that once Babu dies, then the whole technique will pass with him. So I decided to go back and find a way of financing a trip to Romania and record Babu and feature some of his flute playing on some of the tracks that I'll be doing. I went to Romania with a great team of technicians from England, and we collected material from different musicians and singers from Romania and Transylvania. And then I met this beautiful old lady. She was 90, and she's an amazing artist. She writes poetry. And she's been singing songs since she was a young girl. And her neighbor also is a singer, and they sang for us some old folk Romanian songs. In Bucharest, I got to meet Leonard Iordache, who is one of my favorite cymbal players. He's one of the most talented cymbal players left in the world.
Noi sperăm să mai vină generații din urmă care să ducă mai departe această tradiție muzicală. E foarte mare păcat că ei nu mai își dau interesul pentru acest gen muzical, care cu timpul va dispărea și e foarte, foarte, foarte greu păcat.
I got to hang out for a bit in a studio with Mahala Banda, which is one of the most established Balkan bands at the moment.
Vezi, suntem puțin legați de chestia asta. Probabil că noi suntem predestinați meserii ăștia de lăutari. Am moștenit-o și o ducem mai departe.
We came back with a lot of recorded instruments, vocals, beautiful sounding music that we've just spent lots of time selecting little bits to be featured in the album. After working for quite a few years in projects that are focusing on protecting the forest back home in Romania, I realized that the best way I can serve and I can help with the protection of these forests is through using my skills and put them into good use and raise awareness about something that I am so passionate about protecting, which is the forests. If the nature goes, if the forest dies, so do these people. And they have so much to teach us. They really have learned generation from generation how to live with the environment, how to play these instruments in the old way. So this is why I made this album, because in this way we preserve these old folkloric songs and these old instruments, and also the legends, which are Babu Ion, Buna Ana, Babu Nicolae, Leonard Iordache. You know, their memory and their teachings will continue for time. For every album sold or donation received, Muzică Without Frontiers will be planting an oak tree on the land where the musicians live. I want to encourage fellow DJs and musicians to compensate for some of our carbon footprint by getting involved in helping create a forest for the future generations. I'm really hoping that this album and this short film is going to inspire the younger generations in particular to want to get involved in protecting the environment. And the way they can do that is through getting into music. I've called this initiative Forests Without Frontiers, as the number of trees planted can be infinite. For me, music has always been like my best friend, and I hope it will always be like that.